For years, Kylian Mbappé was seen as the future of football, the player who would take over the world after the era of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. He had the speed, the confidence, the goals, and the mentality of a superstar before even turning 20. When he won the World Cup with France in 2018, many believed football had already found its next king. But football changes fast. Expectations become pressure, pressure becomes criticism, and suddenly the same player once called unstoppable begins facing questions from every direction. Today, Mbappé stands at one of the most difficult moments of his career, and the story of how he got here is more complicated than most people realize. Mbappé's rise was almost unreal. At AS Monaco, he shocked Europe with fearless performances in the Champions League. He wasn't scared of defenders, stadiums, or pressure. He played with freedom. Then came the huge move to Paris Saint-Germain, where the world expected him to dominate football for the next decade. At PSG, he produced incredible numbers season after season. Goals, assists, trophies, highlight moments. Mbappé had everything. But even during those successful years, criticism slowly started building. People began saying he was becoming bigger than the club itself. Rumors about dressing room influence, transfer drama, and his constant links with Real Madrid followed him every single season. Despite scoring hundreds of goals, something always felt incomplete. The Champions League trophy never arrived for PSG during his time there, and many fans started questioning whether Mbappé's era in Paris was truly successful or simply filled with individual brilliance. Then came the transfer that football fans had waited years to see. In 2024, Mbappé finally joined Real Madrid, calling it the club of his dreams. The expectations were massive. This was supposed to be the beginning of a new Galactico era. Fans imagined Mbappé leading Madrid back to total European domination, just like Cristiano Ronaldo once did. At first, the numbers looked incredible. He scored important goals, broke debut season records, won the European Golden Shoe, and became one of the most productive players in Europe. But football is not only about statistics. The pressure at Real Madrid is different. At Madrid, goals are not enough. Fans demand leadership, sacrifice, personality, and above all, trophies. Even during his first season, critics noticed something strange. Mbappé was scoring, but Real Madrid did not look balanced. The chemistry inside the team became a major talking point. Some fans believed the system was struggling to fit him alongside stars like Vinícius Jr and Jude Bellingham. Others felt the team had become too focused on individuals rather than collective football. While Barcelona and PSG started building stronger team structures, Real Madrid looked unstable in important moments. And when Madrid failed in major competitions, the spotlight immediately turned toward Mbappé. Recently, the situation has become even more intense. Reports around Spain suggest tensions inside the club have grown, especially after injuries and disappointing performances during crucial moments of the season. Mbappé has been criticized heavily by parts of the media and fan base after traveling during injury recovery, while Real Madrid struggled on the pitch. Some reports even mentioned dressing room frustrations and heated training ground incidents involving players and staff. Whether every rumor is true or exaggerated, one thing is clear. The pressure around Mbappé has reached another level. What makes the situation even more complicated is what happened after Mbappé left PSG. Ironically, PSG began looking stronger as a collective team without him. Players like Ousmane Dembélé stepped into leadership roles, and football discussions quickly changed from PSG needs Mbappé to did PSG actually improve without him? Even former Real Madrid legend Toni Kroos recently praised PSG's team mentality and selfless football, comments many fans interpreted as indirect criticism of Madrid's current situation. At the same time, younger stars like Lamine Yamal are exploding onto the global stage, changing the conversation about who the future face of football truly is. But this is the dangerous thing about football. Fans often forget how quickly narratives change. A few years ago, Mbappé was untouchable. Today, people question his mentality, leadership, and even his footballing level. Yet the reality is more complicated than social media debates. Mbappé is still one of the most dangerous forwards in the world. His speed still terrifies defenders. His finishing is still elite. His numbers are still world-class. And at only 27 years old, his story is far from finished. The biggest question now is not whether Mbappé is talented. Everyone already knows he is. The real question is whether he can evolve. Can he become more than just a superstar attacker? Can he become a leader capable of carrying the pressure of Real Madrid during difficult moments? Can he rebuild his image in front of fans who expected him to become the next Cristiano Ronaldo instantly? And most importantly, can he finally silence the criticism by delivering the one thing Madrid values above everything else, the Champions League? Football history is filled with players who faced difficult moments before reaching greatness. Cristiano Ronaldo himself was heavily criticized during his early years in Spain. Even Lionel Messi experienced periods where people questioned whether he could lead Argentina to international success. Greatness is not built only during the good moments. It is built during the storms, during the criticism, during the moments when the world begins doubting you. Right now, Kylian Mbappé is living through one of those storms. The pressure is enormous. The expectations are brutal. Every match, every injury, every mistake, and every headline becomes global news. But maybe this difficult chapter will eventually become the moment that transforms him completely. Maybe the player who once relied only on talent now has to discover resilience, leadership, and sacrifice. Because football does not remember potential forever. Football remembers those who survive the pressure and still rise to the top. And that is why the next few years of Mbappé's career may define not only his legacy, but an entire generation of football.